What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Thursday, June 4th. Now in today's dog video is another follow-up on part 2 of the Binance investigation regarding their accumulation of dog Bitcoin on chain. Now thanks to Ordinals Al, he was able to give me the top 10,000 holders of dog. So with this data, it's different from yesterday's video because yesterday we only covered the top 1,000 wallets. Now in today's video, it's going to be the first 10,000 wallets, and you'll be surprised with the data that I'm going to present to you. But most importantly, you must be wondering, why are they accumulating? Well, it's because runes are coming back. Runes are more present, and I think something's being prepared that we aren't seeing off-chain, but what we are seeing on-chain. So let's cover all the data and just dive deep into it. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email, so please be careful and invest safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So what can we cover in this video? Now that we're covering more than 1,000, up to 10,000, this is what we've actually seen. Remember yesterday we saw a total supply of what Binance owned in terms of dog tokens, roughly around 10 to 11%. Well, guess what? Today is actually increased to 13.7%. Could it be more than that? The reason I pose that question is because I actually want to share with you these unknown dog wallets that have actually received funds from market maker number 1 and market maker number 2. But let's slow down. Let's talk about the new wallets that we actually have seen. Now in yesterday's video, in our first 1,000 wallets, we actually saw 39 suspicious dog wallets that were tied into Binance. We've covered some of these wallets before, but there was more additional wallets that ended up being 39 wallets. Guess what? As of today, because we were covering the 10,000 holders of dog, is now increased from 39 to 158. It's crazy. That's more than 119 new suspicious wallets. So now I have updated the activity timeline chart. This has not only 39 wallets, this is now all 158 wallets, okay? So what have you noticed in this chart? The chart has completely changed. So basically, they were in mass accumulation for a very long time. I remember in the last video yesterday, there wasn't really much presence from the 39 wallets over here because guess what? The data that I actually had, since it was only the 1,000 wallets, most of the data I had from over here was 9 wallets, and then what Ordinals Al had shared with me is that really it was 39 wallets covering the recent data. But after covering the first 10,000 wallets that have accumulated dog over time, the top 10,000, look at the presence that they've been around over the past 2 years. It's absolutely nuts. They were here when dog was roughly at around 980 million market cap. You can see that they weren't as present, but also they were here during the time in December of 2024 before the Trump token came out when dog hit 999 million market cap. This is crazy. Look at the inflows and outflows coming out of here. But just notice how they kind of line up very specifically with the dog price. Sometimes they would buy a lot and also manipulate the price a lot during times where dog price was dipping. But what I've noticed that right here, roughly around June and July, this is when Kraken listed dog for spot trading. And then you start to see the dog price go down. What have you noticed with the Binance linked wallets? They've actually accumulated over that time, as we mentioned in yesterday's video, but they're super present. I want you to pay attention to another thing. Look at the blue circles. These are basically how many wallets of the 150 have been active. Now before, it wasn't really that much. There was 10, 15, 15, 16, 14, 19, 18. But all of a sudden, after Kraken started hinting a spot listing, we started seeing 61, 72, 63, 56, 70, 66, 53, 55, even last month, 67. It's kind of crazy. Now remember, April 13th, I exposed the very first ever Binance Ordinal hot wallet exposure, right? This is when we just saw a Binance Ghost wallet. We just kind of saw these transactions coming from that exchange, or at least from the Ordinal wallet itself. And that's when we saw a massive sell-off, right? This wasn't you guys and girls. This was the sell-off right here, this blue bar. That's a sell-off of outflows from the Binance wallets. And then on May 16th, it was no longer speculation. It was actually confirmed that there was a network of wallets from Binance, which I exposed on May 16th. And notice that there was a massive accumulation. Now, at this point, DOG was roughly around a 94 million market cap. But as of this month, in roughly June, it's at currently 60 million market cap. So this is actually quite interesting. Now, let's update the wallet network map. What have you noticed? Okay, so remember in yesterday's video, we talked about these wallets out here. These are basically the green dots that we thought were DOG reserves. Now, I'm going to get to that in just a moment, but let's look at the categories. Let's look at the suspicious wallets. So the red circles right now in the middle, these are all different types of wallets that are all tied into the Binance Hot Wallet, but they're also tied into the Binance Hot Wallet because of what we see with these core networks. So that's what we're seeing with these two. Then on the outside, these are the unknown DOG wallets. So basically what I thought was DOG reserves could be something else. So what we're seeing is that all these different wallets, by the way, came from market maker number 1 and market maker number 2. But notice something. When these green dots or these wallets, these 175 unknown wallets receive DOG, what is the pattern that we've seen in all of them? Basically, what you see right here, you see where it says receives DOG from market maker number 1 and 2, and then it says never sends back. So all these wallets that you see here basically have received DOG and they've never sent it back to those wallets. Just notice how all these DOG wallets only receive, never send back. So what are these wallets and why are they there? Why are they receiving funds from market maker number 1, market maker number 2? Now, at first you may think, oh, this is just maybe non-Binance users. Maybe this is like people like you and I who are just, buying DOG when we think we're buying it off of Kraken, or maybe we're buying it off of a decentralized exchange or a swap or an app, that we're getting these tokens from market maker number 1 and market maker number 2. But the problem is, why aren't any of these users sending funds back to market maker number 1 or number 2? Like, if I wanted to sell my DOG tokens, wouldn't it go back to these specific wallets? The thing is, this is a really weird pattern, and we're going to talk about percentages in a little bit. So when I look at these specific wallets, something's very interesting, right? You have these unknown DOG wallets that have only received DOG tokens from market maker number 1 and market maker number 2. Then you have a new set of clusters of suspicious wallets that went from 39 to 158, and how they always receive funds from these specific wallets that I just can't ignore. Because again, they all tie into the Binance or Ordinals Hot Wallet. They're all suspicious in my personal opinion. And the data doesn't lie. This is literally happening on chain as we speak. Now let's talk about the network flow. Okay, so now this diagram has been updated again. So instead of 39 wallets, this is now 158 suspicious wallets. Again, they're always tied into specific market makers, or say for instance, they're tied into intermediary wallets number 1, or maybe intermediary wallets number 2, but they also tie into other specific wallets as well. As you can see, just based on some of these things, you can see that they all have either interactions with each other, have transferred funds in and out from each other. This is happening with somebody knowing. This is all engineered. This is the architecture of the specific Binance Ordinals Hot Wallet network. And I swear to gosh, this is something that I just can't ignore. But with that said, I'm going to go to the next slide. Now, what we saw yesterday's video is that the DOG holdings of these Binance clusters that used to be 39 wallets had roughly around 10 to 11 billion DOG tokens. So it's like roughly 10 to 11% of the supply. But now that we have 158 suspicious Binance wallets, which is an increase from yesterday, it's now 13.69 billion DOG tokens, roughly 13.7% of the token supply. Now let's talk about those green dots that were outside that web network that we saw within Binance. Now, when we look down below, what did we notice? So down below, rank number 18 seems to be like the top unknown DOG wallet that's out there, and it has roughly around 0.356 billion DOG, right? So it's not really that much. It's only 0.356% of the total supply of 100 billion token DOG out there. So it's not really that much. And then you can see that over the 162 or more DOG wallets have roughly around 1.41 billion. Now let's see how much of this cluster really takes up more of the space. So basically we saw that the core element, the core, which is basically the 9 to like 11 wallets, that roughly owns around 8.3 billion DOG tokens, okay? And then there's the suspicious wallets. These are the 158 wallets, okay? This is right now at around 5.4 billion DOG tokens. Then there's the cluster of these unknown DOG wallets, Now, if you add these all together, how much would that be? It would be roughly around 18.1% of the total supply of dog. But again, we don't know if it's actually 18% or 13% that Binance owns. The thing is, these smaller wallets have been dormant. They haven't really been active, and they just have been sitting on the sidelines. They just receive funds and never send any back. So why are these dog reserve wallets there? So I want to conclude this presentation and talk a little bit more on why they're actually accumulating dog for a reason. Now, when you look at this conclusion, the cluster is larger than the 1,000 that we saw confirmed. Based on the analysis of the top 10,000 wallets, we found 158 suspicious wallets, which is 4x more than the 39 that we initially thought was yesterday's video. But again, let's talk about the updated holdings. As we know now, based on the core, which are the 9 wallets, which are the Binance wallets, and the 158 wallets on top of that, it owns roughly around 13.69 billion dog tokens. So it's not 10.7 like we said yesterday, it's actually 13.7. But this is the data that we get from the top 10,000 dog wallets. And then obviously we saw that what happened in April of 2026 when we first called out Binance, and they probably saw that. Well, they executed a 354 million dog token outflow, which sent dog token going down. And then the next month in May, they bought back up again just to manipulate the price. And you must be wondering, how do they manipulate the price? Even though it's a free and fair airdrop means it's a free and fair airdrop. It's airdrop to everybody in an equalized manner, no favor to whales, no insiders or whatever. So how is Binance able to manipulate the price? Well, it's very easy. You just go onto the order books on any of these exchanges and influence the liquidity flow within the order books. So basically, you can reduce demand and also inject demand into the order books on Kraken, on Mexi, on Gate, on BitGet. And that's how you're able to not just manipulate dog, but you're also able to manipulate Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the cryptocurrencies that you're seeing as of right now today that are taking a massive dip. This could be because maybe Binance is behind all of it. They are the largest exchange out there with the largest liquidity out there. Now, the investigation is still ongoing regarding these green dots, the unknown dog wallets. We don't exactly know. There are 175 of them, but if these 175 wallets are associated with the 158 suspicious wallets and the 9 core wallets, that means the token supply would they'd have 18.1%, which is not too bad. I mean, it's a lot, but that means they may have enough tokens to basically sell those dog tokens once they list it for spot trading or list it for Binance Alpha, and then OKX, Coinbase, Bybit, Crypto.com, Upbit, you name it, list dog for spot trading, and they sell those tokens to those new holders, those new traders, treating them as exit liquidity. Because right now, they cannot sell dog at this level right now because they wouldn't make any money. The whole point is that Binance wants to make money. So in order to do that, they need to have more customers come in from these other exchanges in order to sell it at a higher price. So if you're a dog holder out there, this is actually very promising for you because you're buying dog in the cheap. And we'll talk about that in just a little bit. But I want to cover why they're accumulating dog. I mean, just look at this, okay? So just on June 2nd, just a couple days ago, the long-term holders, by the way, was 81.01%. Guess what happened the next 2 days after that, as of today? It's now increased to 81.3%. You see what happened? So basically, they're seeing that the whole price of Bitcoin going down capitulated most of the altcoin market, the crypto market. What they did was they ended up accumulating more dog because I'm sure that there were some short-term holders out there, but also there are retail that is actually buying dog and hodling. So it's not just Binance is accumulating the dip and buying people's fears, but it's also you are refusing to sell your dog coins to Binance. In fact, you are actually accumulating dog. I mean, just look at this. We have Tiger who actually bought 20 million dog yesterday. He took advantage. Then we have Six Love, Dog Pulse, Trucker Biff, the Argentinian, Christian, Mr. Bunda, Bitmax, Dog, aka Rafa Campos, Dog Damasa, Natinos, and also RESP. They all accumulated dog yesterday. And what's really crazy is that the creator of Runes, by the way, just hit 1 million followers as of today. Now, just a couple days ago, he was at 800,000 followers. So why is he getting so many followers? It's because there's much demand for Runes. I mean, just look at the on-chain data. People are minting uncommon goods. Asia is interested in Runes, and this is most likely what Binance sees. They see that there's new interest into a new meta. That is the Bitcoin economy, the Bitcoin ecosystem, fungible tokens on Bitcoin, because it's all on chain. You don't have to use some server on Solana, Ethereum, or whatever. It is the new meta that's going to be the new alpha that people are going to chase because people need something new. If it's not going to be meme coins, maybe it's going to be Bitcoin meme coins. Bitcoin economy is untapped. It's never had its bull run. I mean, just look at some of the Bitcoin core team. Even they have acknowledged. Now, Merch is a BIP editor and also a Bitcoin core developer. Now, what does he say about runes? He says, I also just noticed that runes have almost entirely displaced inscriptions and BRC20s in the past 2 months. That's great news because the idiotic BRC20 token transactions patterns was the main driver for Dust UTXO creation, meaning basically he's saying that BRC20 tokens, as we all know, have always been UTXO not friendly. They are wasteful. It takes up a lot of block space. And so what you're seeing here are these basically these like red or pink lines right here, or these bars. That's runes for you. That's how much runes are making presence. I guarantee you Binance is seeing this. But not only that, you have to look at how dog themed meme coins always perform. Now you have to see the whole meme coin market sector. It's all down massively. We're at new lows. Remember, this is at $32 billion for the entire meme coin market cap. This used to be over $100 billion as of December of 2024. But notice that dog themed meme coins always capture the most market share. Now what you see here in this diagram, this is only dog themed meme coins. Just look how much they captured when they were at peak at around 100 billion. Look at where we are right now, 18 billion roughly for the dog themed meme coins. But guess what? We're at the exact same level, the exact same bottom that we saw back over here before we went into a bull run for meme coins. So when you have factors like dog themed meme coins, which dog Bitcoin is, and then you have it on top of being one of the top meme coins on Bitcoin, it's an ingredient for success. So this is why, as a conclusion, why Binance is buying your dog tokens. Now, as we conclude this video, what can we take away from this? Well, basically, dog has held up very strong during this massive pullback. We saw that Bitcoin drop massively, roughly around like 67,000 down to around 61,000 over the past 7 days. Yet dog Bitcoin has held sustainable roughly around 60 million market cap, give or take. Now, Binance will definitely use their games and tactics to bring the price down as much as they can and buy as much as they can. But know this, when the price of dog goes down, it's not retail selling. It's just the order books being influenced by the Binance exchange using liquidity flows within the order books of these other exchanges such as Gate, BitGet, and also Mexi and Kraken, right? So this is only the top 10,000 wallets, and hopefully I can get more data on more wallets. And I want to thank Ordinals Al. If you can, make sure to follow this person. He is the person that is downloading the API data of these wallets and sharing them with me. Also, he comes out with his own graphics and his own analysis of these Binance wallets, how they're accumulating dog. So definitely follow him as much as possible. So as we know, we went from 39 suspicious wallets to now 158, and an increase from around 10.7 to now 13.7. And we found out there was roughly around 70 to now 119 other unknown dog wallets that we don't exactly know why they're there, and they just received dog and they never send it back. So this is an eye-opening video. I hope that this video has been very helpful for you to understand why Binance has been accumulating dog. So with that said, you've heard my thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank our sponsors, C2 Blockchain and Trucker Biff. Make sure to smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of our alpha calls and updates regarding dog on the moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.